Good morning. It's almost Friday. Happy Thursday. On my way to work. I just want to come on and say thank you to everyone for not only supporting my channel, but supporting my new journey, which is my weight loss journey again. So thank you so much for that. I've only put up 1 or 2 videos. I did an introductory video to the journey into the series, and then I did 1 video, but a new one's coming, and yeah, I hope to motivate people. It's also keeping me, accountable and on track, and really want to stay motivated and determined to, shed some pounds, however much that will be. So, I know it's not an easy journey. I've been there a few times. I think I'm at the point where I know what is good for my body, and that's what everybody has to kind of realize. What you might see, and also what everybody has to realize, what's good for you might not be good for everybody else, or somebody else. It might not work for them. What does it look like? It snowed. You have to do what's good for your body, and I just want to put it out there that because I've been on this journey a few times and I've tried different things, the hardest thing to get my head around was what the amount of calories I am supposed to be taking in a day is. Because for it to be sustainable, you have to start at the right, roundabout number, and that number was always about 1,200. And then I went and I did a program a few years back. I think it was 2016 to 2017, and she kept saying, you don't eat enough. And I was like, what do you mean you don't eat enough? I eat. I eat. She's like, you're not consuming enough calories, and that's partly the problem. So even when I started the program, it was shakes. Everybody else was getting 4 shakes, I was getting 5, and she said, because I need the extra calories. And she's like, your body's always go into that storage mode where you store calories, and you store fat, because your body says, oh, you're not getting enough fuel for your body, so we need to save some. So it's like a false positive type of thing. It's not true. You don't need to store it, you can get rid of it, but your body thinks that way. So in order to lose the weight, you had to consume more, which I still can't get my head around. So I know for me, a calorie reduction is obviously good, and the type of food. I know I had a moment where I realized what carbs did for me. Carbs meaning rice, potatoes, anything, breads like bagels and stuff like that. Any carb. One thing my doctor always told me is that carbs, like breads and stuff, instantly turn into sugar. So you kind of don't, you think of like rice or something, like you have a plate of rice, and he said that when it gets into your body, it instantly it turns to sugar. So having a right amount of carbs is also important. But I also knew the effects that carbs have on me. So if I have a carb in the morning, carbs at lunch, and carbs at dinner, I feel like so tired early, right? And I was like, what is going on? And one day I just was just paying attention. I was like, what did I have for lunch? What did I do? And I had just eaten. So you know when you eat and you're just like, oh, I could, take a nap or fall asleep and stuff like that. Not good, number one. Two, I more felt that way quicker when I had like rice and stuff like that. So even at work, if I have like if I have a lunch, not a big lunch, but if I have lunch that contains just like a lot of carbs, so whether I would have leftover pasta, or I'd have like a sandwich, or a protein and a rice, whatever the serving size is. But when you get to that, like, at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, you're like, you're starting to come down, right? So like I'm tired and stuff like that. So I realized that's what carbs was doing to my body. Breakfast, I have a hard time with breakfast because I'm always liking some form of like bread with my tea or coffee. And so I was having a hard time, just like, what am I gonna eat? What am I gonna eat? What am I gonna eat? What am I gonna have for breakfast, right? So, and I still have that because I don't just want to have eggs every day, all the time. So, yeah, that is my thing for now. I know what carbs is doing to my body, so you have to know how the foods affect your body. That's really important. And when I was on that program, I also, one of the classes, because it was a weekly class, you go get weighed in and kind of tell everybody how you're doing. One of the classes that they teach you, because when they start to reintroduce, so you go from shakes, for just having shakes, and it was almost like it actually reset my metabolism, reset my body. So like craving would go away. I had a whole bunch of energy because whatever was in that mixture for the shake was the right thing in terms of calories and nutrition. When they started to reintroduce foods, they would have different people come in. They started reintroduce foods, and then before they had started to introduce fitness as well. So, but the food part, when they were reintroducing food, like, okay, you could now have a meal, as opposed to just shakes. Somebody came in. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm good. How are you? Good morning. Good morning, Rose. When somebody came in and taught a class, I was at the back of the class, and I think she saw it on my face, and I mouthed, because I was just thinking out loud. I was like, this industry has lied to us. So it's very important to know and understand labels, because they'll put things on the package like sugar-free, fat-free, and they lie. They are not telling the whole truth, and that was what is shocking to me, because things that I was buying thinking, oh my gosh, I'm feeding my kids because we want to get on this health thing, I'm trying to lose weight, like a whole bunch of things, and I'm looking at the package, just not knowing and actually turning it around fully and understanding the label. That was a shock. I have that resource. I'm gonna take that out and probably talk more about that. But I almost was like, what am I gonna eat? What am I gonna eat? I'm gonna have to grow my own food, and get my protein from animals that I raise myself. Like I don't know what to do. Like I was in shock. And that was 2017, and then I got over the shock and just like kind of put it out of my mind. But I'm gonna pull that resource out and look at it again. But it did teach me some things about fiber and sugars, what percentage to look for. Like if you have sugars that are over 5% of the content or the serving, no good. If you have sugar and fiber, so if say the sugar count is high, you can use say the sugar count was 10, fiber was 4, then you can use the fiber to decrease the sugar amount, and then that make it a good number. Again, maybe I should do a video on this, but there's a lot of information out there that you should, you gotta know, because the food industry, the packaging, the things that they sell you on the store, they're gonna go with the trend, right? So the number one thing for me was milk. Milk was a huge shocker. And my 25-year-old daughter, no, it's not 25 yet, but my 25-year-old daughter came to me and said, which I knew from years ago, was, did you know that milk had sugar? And that was the one thing that I just decided to turn the package around one time, because here in Canada, or here in Ontario, not all of Canada is like this, we have bags of milk. Like it comes like 4 liters and 3 bags. They divvy it up, and we would go through 6 bags a week. The 3 of us, and because my kids would drink them, have milk instead of juice, have milk instead of juice, but there's sugar in the milk. And then I went from, so here, like what I was taught, like my mom is Caribbean, my dad's Caribbean, my whole family's Caribbean, from Jamaica, and it's like at 6 months, give the babies milk. Don't wait the year. So at 6 months, I started introducing whole milk. Because, and then later in life, I'm reading this book, and then like, it's, it's to fatten them up. It's to, it's help. The industry, it's so much. Sorry, I'm driving, so I'm not reading the comments, but I will read on the recap. Sorry about that, guys, but I just want to come on and do live about this, because I just have to talk about this, the way things are. I think I'm gonna have to go find a piece of land and like have some eggs, have some chickens, have this, have a farm where I can plant my own stuff. But I am going to be planting. I live in a condominium building, but I have a balcony, so I'm going to start there. I try to do it every year, but we have squirrels that climb up and then they wreak havoc on my garden. But yeah, so this weight loss journey, it's a tricky thing. Yeah, milk is fattening. Milk is so fattening. For when I talk about it now, I'm just like, because we went from giving my kids like whole milk, right, 3%, and I think as a kid, we always bought. I don't think there was a lot of choice in the 70s, because I basically grew up at, like, I was born in '69. I don't remember having different types of milk, or my mother didn't. Maybe she just didn't buy it. But anyway, so we going from the whole milk 3%, and then we went to 2% because the kids got older. And then after a while, I was like, for me, and then my daughter, my daughters, I'm like, I don't want to give them all this fat. I went down to 1%, and then I'm like, okay, 1% is not bad, because I would buy this brand, and then went to skim. And then one day I pulled it out, I was just looking at it, and I was like, why is there sugar in skim milk, right? And yeah, and then milk just started to have an effect on my body, right? So I just couldn't digest it properly, and I just went to almond milk. And then, so I between almond and cashew That's what. No, not cashew. I'll have a cashew, but I don't really buy it often. Almond milk and oat milk. That's what I go between. Um, and the odd time now, because of the taste, we might get the lactose, but that's just because we just want something different, like, you know. But we definitely, yes, just drink water. I agree with that. I 1000%, because also the whole juice, my kids would get 1 to 2 juice boxes in their lunch. Majority of the time it was 2. The older they got 2 juice boxes, because they don't give them pop, give them juice. And you might as well just give them pop. It's the same it's the same sugar. I'm like, industry does not tell you the whole truth. Don't give them pop, give them juice. Don't give them juice, give them milk. It's the same. It's the same. It is the same. Give them water. So yeah, so now it's getting, yeah, just whole food. You are so right. You are so right. 1000% right, Rose. 1000%. I did this test to myself because I had a coworker friend, she's a friend. She just suddenly started getting hives, and she was not thin, but she was not a big girl at all. And she went somewhere and she came back, and I was her manager, so she had to call in to work, and was like, I broke out in hives. I don't know what I ate. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's, mosquitoes. I don't know, but she broke up in hives. And it took her a few weeks to go see a naturopath. And the naturopath person said, we had to find what the source is. So cut this out, cut this out, cut this out, cut this out. So when she was doing it, I was like, I'm going to do what she does. Right? And then at the same time, my doctor has always tried to, since I was 17, push me to lose weight. Said, don't eat anything packaged. Don't eat anything packaged. Not in a can. So not like sandwich meat. Nope. Anything in a can. Nope. And nothing in, not even frozen, unless it was like whole frozen vegetables, like nothing processed. So it was like, it was the hardest thing to do, but guess what? It worked. Because like I said, anything in certain packages, no matter how they try to sell it as healthy, may not be healthy. So I was buying, so it kind of forces you to cook, which I'm doing now. Like really think about the vegetables that you're putting in. And I grew up on canned vegetables too. I had some frozen, but a lot of canned vegetables. My kids didn't like the canned vegetables because it was just a no for them. So I never really would buy. But yeah, just whole foods, and yeah, you're so right about the whole foods. So right. And water. And also, in my 56 years of life, and I knew this before, but when you're really, really thirsty, the only thing that can get rid of that thirst is water. It's boiling hot outside, and you're like, I'm so thirsty, and you get a big glass of Diet Coke. Not as much sugar, you're still thirsty. Like it quenches it at that time, but you're still thirsty. You drink, and you haven't. The thirst is still there. So, because I'm not a huge water drinker, when you're thirsty, it's because you're dehydrated. Another thing, when you're thirsty and sometimes hungry, it's because you're dehydrated. So what I started to do, I actually had a plan to do a video for this. I saw, I think it was on TikTok, fresh lemon water. So I couldn't get through the lemons, and my lemons were spoiling. So because I would forget about it, it'd be in a drawer, and I just wouldn't. I forget about it because I'm not a huge water drinker. I'm not a huge drinker. I, unless sometimes if it's pop, I might drink a lot, but I can go a meal without drinking a thing, which is also not good. So I started to cut up. I cut up my lemons. I have a bag of lemons. I just bought it the other day because I plan to do this. Because the bag that I have in my freezer is depleting. So get a bag of lemons, and I wash them well, and I cut up the lemons into like little circles, and then I lay them on a baking tray, and then I freeze them. And once they're frozen, I put them in a Ziploc bag individually, so they're individually frozen. And and then I put it put them in a Ziploc bag. And then when I'm having water, I take out 3 or 4, and I put it in depending on the size glass or cup that I have, 3 or 4, and then I put in my water. And sometimes I put 4 because I replenish the water but keep the lemons in there, because I'm not squeezing the juice out. I'm a genius because it tastes so, like, when you're really thirsty and kind of not, the water's not that cold, it's not like ice cold, it's almost like room temperature, and you're thirsty and I reach for that. Oh, it is the most amazing thing in this world, that lemon water. Or at night, yeah, I put it beside my bed because it's so good, and it's just lemon and water. I'm a genius. I know I'm not the only one who thought of this, but I just feel that way, that I'm a genius because it's so good. So everywhere I go, if you see my house now, you see a cup on my desk, this and that. Just so that I will gravitate towards it, I will grab it instead of going through stuff. And I don't bring, yes, lemon and water. Yeah, processed foods are so deadly, and like when I go back home to Jamaica or the Bahamas, not instantly, but I lose weight in the first few days because it's not a thing I mean, they have fast food, but you have to have the money. And within my family, it wasn't a thing to go to the store to get chocolate or a fast food, anything. It's whatever's in the house, and it's cooked. So you go to the market, you got the food, you cook, you eat. And every dinner that I was served, especially during the week, I was given water back home. And I was like, well, these people don't drink juice. Because here, you see at the dinner tables, we have juice. You mix a jug of juice, and that's what we have. But not there. So definitely whole foods, like you say, Rose. The water, and especially now, and not just lemon. Any fruit. If you like that fruity taste, you can have it in like a diffuser if you want, or not. But cut up fresh strawberries if you want that different taste to your water, whatever it is that you like. I think I might even like add some lime, because I really like lemonade and limeade. Like I really, really love that. And it doesn't have to have sugar. Like I just love that tartness. So I think I'm going to add some lime to that. So yeah, drink green tea. Yeah, I gotta learn to have tea or coffee. So I basically won't be having tea or coffee because I'm a cream and sugar girl. So I think the green tea is gonna have to be the way to go. It has to be like a clear tea like that. So like here at work, we have orange pico or green tea, and I look at the green tea. Maybe I should have a green tea today. I just walk by and not get that. So I gotta change my palette for teas. And I think I also, because I like iced tea, and I thought every time I look at the green tea, I was like, I can do an iced tea. I can do an iced tea with the green tea. Don't need, because I don't, and just put lemon. Oh, I think I'm a genius. Thank you, Rose. Thank you for the idea. I think I can make the iced tea with the green tea and put some lemon in it. I think I'm gonna do that. Yeah. Or honey, because honey is a lie. Honey is a lie. Honey is a lie too. And I think they are very wrong. Very wrong. And even brown